Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host this morning, Logan Landers, and today I'm going to be recapping the national championship game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. However, before I get started, if you enjoy the video or the podcast here today, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We go live each and every week on Facebook and YouTube. We have clips of each and every show on Instagram. And on our podcast, we have over 600 episodes ready right now for you to go and listen to on all major podcast streaming platforms, thanks to the Believe Podcast Network. But let's get into it, man. The national championship, the final game in the college football season for the 2021-2022 season. The Georgia Bulldogs came out on top 33-18. Now, if you watch this game, right, it was a very competitive first half. I know the score is not going to reflect it, right? At halftime, it was Georgia 6 and it was Alabama 9. It was all field goals up until that point. And everyone was just asking themselves, where's the touchdowns? Where's the explosive offense at? And it came. It came in the second half. But that first half, man, was just an absolute, I called it a chess match, right? Because just two really talented teams trying to see who was going to get that upper edge, right? Who's going to get that next yard, that next first down, that third down conversion. And it was like a good boxing matchup, right? They were going at each other. You got an uppercut from Georgia. You got a right hook from the Crimson Tide. And it was just a very solid game from both teams, especially in the first half. In the second half, in the third quarter, it was pretty close. In the fourth quarter is really when Georgia took over. But let's do a quick recap. So, man, the coin toss, Alabama got it first. They could, and man, well, it's just crazy. So the whole game, it was just a battle of what's going to happen first. So, like I said, Alabama got the ball first. They were able to score and get some points on the board. They were up 3-0 to start things off on their first possession. Went 14 plays, 56 yards. Took about 5 minutes off the clock. And then Georgia got the ball. Stetson Bennett, first play in the national championship game, he got sacked for a loss of 14. All right, and then he was able. He fumbled the ball, right, but he thankfully recovered it. He tried to do a little juke move, but he lost control of the ball there. Then on third down, it was a delayed game, and then it was an incomplete pass. So I saw everywhere on Twitter and Facebook, everyone was just saying that, oh, go ahead and put JT Daniels in the game. This guy's not ready, and it's just not looking good after the very first drive of the game for Georgia. So then it was just a battle of who's going to get that next score. And finally, Georgia got it a little bit later on in the first quarter, tie the game up 3-3. Right after that, Alabama scored right back. They got a field goal on the board that had 6-3. And then a little bit later on the first quarter, it was 9-3. Alabama was up after another field goal. And then finally, to end the half, Georgia scored a field goal, making it 6-9. So at the end of the first quarter. Then in the second, man, they were just going at it. And a big key was a little bit early on, about middle way through the second quarter, Alabama missed. They got a missed field goal because it was blocked by Jalen Carter. Very big key there. Because it is just points missed off the board by some great special teams played. And the thing I really liked about Georgia, too, in this game, just a segue, is they were able to stop Alabama at the goal line inside the red zone multiple times. And that was really, I think, what helped them get the win in this. So, also, there was a touchdown in the second quarter. Georgia it was a Zamir White 1-yard rush, just punched it right into the end zone. But it was set up by a 67-yard run by James Cook that really – He could have scored, right? He got pretty close to scoring, but he just was not able to get there. And that was, right at about the third quarter there. So that was pretty close. And then Alabama then scored, made it 13-12, so super close. And then Alabama actually scored off of the I'm going to say fumble. It was the weird play. If you saw it, it was Stetson Bennett who looked like he threw it. It looked like his hand was coming forward, but it was called a fumble nonetheless. And it was probably one of the craziest things I've seen, because Christian Harris forced it, and then Brian Branch was actually just kind of walking over to the sideline to go pick up the ball to hand it to the official, and he ended up having both one foot in bounds, and it ended up being a fumble that Alabama recovered, and then they were able to then get a touchdown off of it, thanks to a Cameron Littau touchdown from Bryce Young. But they did fail the 2-point conversion. So then the score at the moment was 18-13. And then Georgia in the fourth, right, they were able to come out and get a score. Donnie Mitchell, a 40-yard pass from Bennett, a bomb right in the end zone. And what a momentum shifter that was, because then Georgia held on to that lead for dear life. So then it was 19-18, right? Still a very close game. And then we see Georgia really helps out here. They didn't get another touchdown. Brock Bowers, a nice little screen pass to him, runs it in. That's 26-18 at the time. We're getting closer to the end here. And the dagger in the coffin, right? An interception, a pick six from Bryce Young. Keely Ringo with the play of his life, a 79-yard pick six, put Georgia up and put the game out of reach, 33-18, with about 3 minutes left in the game. Georgia scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, and that is really what helped them out and really helped them get this win. But just looking at the box score, I had mentioned it on my game preview that Georgia needed to have pretty much a perfect game if they wanted to win. Stetson Bennett had those two fumbles, right? One of them will have a question mark behind that's going to be debated for years now. And then the one he recovered, of course. But he did great nonetheless. He did not have any interceptions in this game. He threw 17 to 26, 224, and 2 touchdowns. That's a solid game. The running game for Georgia was working pretty well, 140 yards combined and on 30 carries. The receiving core was kind of all over the place. A lot of guys. Brock Bowers had 4 catches to lead the team, but there's a lot of guys who got in there and had big plays. And going over to Alabama, Bryce Young didn't have a tremendous game, but let's not forget, though, that Jameson Williams went out early in the game, and that was his, they already had Mechie out, and then Williams was the next guy up. And then after that, they had a bunch of freshmen in the game pretty much. And what a way to, you're young in your Alabama career, why not head on out into the national championship game and see what you can do? So they struggled a little bit. Bryce Young, 35 of 57, 369 in the air, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Brian Robinson couldn't. I said that Brian Robinson was going to be the key. 22 carries, only 68 yards, has 3.1 average, because that Georgia defense was on point. Cameron Littau, 5 catches for 102. I mentioned that touchdown earlier. Williams, before he got hurt, he still had a good game. 4 catches for 65. Then you had Ja'Cory Brooks, had 6 catches. Slade Bolden led the team with 7 receptions, but they just weren't able to get a whole lot going on offense. But the defense for both teams is what's really impressive. Georgia did not have a sack in the previous SEC championship between these two teams. They were able to get to Bryce Young 4 times. He was able to get sacked 4 times on the day. I think that's what really helped. Channing Tindall had 1. Nolan Smith, Robert Beal Jr., and Trayvon Walker, all the credit for sacks. And they had 9 tackles for losses either, which was a big key. So they looked great there. Quay Walker led the way with 7 solo tackles. Channing Tindall right there with 5. Lewis Seen had 6. And what a tremendous game for really the entire Georgia defense. I mean, they played their hearts out. Chris Smith also had an interception too. But, man, just what a really great day. And, of course, I mentioned the kicking game could have been important. Richard got that block field goal that helps kind of swing the momentum in Georgia's favor. So they went great there. And what a just tremendous game all around. And it was great. It was fun to watch. It was a good game. And, I mean, Georgia struggled a little bit in the first half with penalties. They cleaned up in the second half. But overall, just a really dominant win for Georgia, especially going into the third and fourth quarters. And I'm happy for him, man, because Kirby Smart finally beat Nick Saban. He hadn't beaten him previously throughout his whole tenure as Georgia coach, and he pulled out the upset. Some might say, right? Georgia proved that their defense was top notch. For third down efficiency, right? Alabama was 9 of 20 throughout the game. So I mean that kind of lets you know just how solid that defense was, and then just they were able to really help out. The Georgia defense was really able to help out the offense when it was struggling sometimes. And I mean, like I said before, everyone, that Georgia defense, it's now that it's solidified as a national champion. It's going to go down as probably one of the best defenses we'll ever see in college football. Just with how they were able to pretty much dominate this game after getting blown out in the previous matchup. And it was just fun. It was a good game. And I can't believe it, man. They pulled it off, got their first national championship since 1980. So it's been quite a while, 41 years for the Georgia Bulldogs. But, man, that Bulldog defense played their hearts out. They just looked like they wanted it more, honestly. And they pulled off the win, 33-18. Athens was going crazy. Big shout out to Alabama. They had a great year, just wasn't their night. And, yeah, some guys didn't have their best performances. But at the end of the day, it is just one game, and it does not define their career, as Coach Saban says. But I can't wait to see what these two are going to do next year in 2022, the 2023 season. We might be seeing a rematch. We might be seeing this game one more time next season. But what a great game. What a tremendous win for Kirby Smart. He finally overcame that obstacle that was Nick Saban, and the Dogs got the win in this one. Big performances from the defense, from Stetson Bennett. All of them played their hearts out, and they are now your NCAA college football national champions for this year. So if you guys enjoyed this game recap, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please go over and check out the Instagram as well. We have clips of each every show, and check out the podcast. Available on all major podcast streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can think of. We are over there with amazing live content, talking about history specials, right? Talking about amazing teams and players from the past. We got draft prospects. We've been doing that for quite a while with guys who are going to get drafted this upcoming year, where we think they're going to slide in at. We have amazing interviews with legends from the past, Super Bowl champions, guys who played great college, high school legends also, and just really anything and everything football related that I can think of. We have over there at the podcast. With over 600 episodes, there's got to be something over there that fits your liking. And we have probably, I would say, close to 1,000, maybe if more, videos up on our Facebook and on our YouTube channel. We're getting close to 500 subscribers on our YouTube. We're hoping to hit that by the end of the year. So please go over there and help us out, get to our goal. That would be much appreciated. But I've been your host, Logan Landers, this morning, and I've been doing the game recap for the final game for the college football season. The Georgia Bulldogs, once again, on top, 33-18. They are your national champions. Guys, have a tremendous day, and I will talk to you again in the near future. See you then.